Surprise bill? Need fast funds? CashNet USA can help. When you need money fast, be the hero.
Apply in minutes at cashnetusa.com and get a fast decision. All loans subject to lender approval. Speed of funding is subject to verifications and your bank's processing times.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies to same item. Current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
Welcome back to Who's the Bitch?
Who's the bitch? And I'm just
is
over
the
here.
bitch?
Maybe who the bitch was whomever left, I'm assuming a beard hair that was on this microphone.
Oh God.
I'm hoping it was a beard hair because if it's not, well, I'm going to ask why the microphone was so far down south. But we don't have to worry about that here. No beard hair around here. Well, I mean, there's a little bit over by our engineer, but you know, that beard hair is far away from us. Hey, Kara, how are you?
I'm good, Jackie. How are you?
Man, you know, everything has been doing fine.
Everything is, I mean, the world is on fire.
Yeah, it was literally, and now it still is figuratively. But what we are dealing with this week is Valentine's Day.
Yes. Well, this will be coming out about a few days after Valentine's Day, but we figured you guys probably want our thoughts on Valentine's Day anyway.
You must be begging for them by now.
Come on. We're going to teach you the secrets, the tips, the tricks to have the sexiest Valentine's Day.
Oh my God.
Ever.
Is it wearing no panties? Is it wearing no panties?
It's wearing no panties, covering chocolate petals. Also gifts, also a vibrating thing that has a remote control.
Oh my God, you're just like Cosmo Magazine.
I'm literally just like, okay, basically the real bottom line is that today my husband, today's February 10th, just so everybody knows for context, 4 days out from Valentine's Day. And he just goes, so Valentine's Day. And I go, nope. And then he goes, gotcha. And that was the conversation.
So if you don't mind me asking, how many years have you guys been together?
So we dated for 5 years and we've been married for, it'll be, oh my gosh.
The
it'll be
ultimate
10
test.
this summer.
Whoa, it's 10 this
we're
summer.
at 10 this summer. So we've
I'm
been
glad
together.
I reminded you early so you could remember to do something for it.
Yes. We've been together for 15 years. And actually, even when we broke up, we got back together right before Valentine's Day. Like Valentine's Day was kind of like our get back together time around. So, because we broke up for 6 months, but I simply don't care about it.
Did you ever care?
Not really.
Yeah.
I mean, one time when I was pregnant, Jared was out of town and I was like 7 months pregnant and had also handled a move by myself. Like we moved houses and he was like, bye, going to New Orleans to work for 2 weeks. And I was like, cool, I'll just be putting together beds with a full 7-month-old baby inside of me. Whatever. So I like, and then he sent me cupcakes from that good place that's really good, Sprinkles or something. Like he sent me really good cupcakes for a year. That was like, and that was just nice because like I was away and he's like, you're hormonal and pregnant, so you probably want some sugar. So that was good. But like, I don't really care. I really just don't care. Now it's like we've been together for so long. We go on dates all the time. If you don't go on dates, if you guys are like a kind of couple where you're like, we're underwater all the time. We've got our kids, we've got our work. We're like underwater. Then I can understand why it's like, okay, this is a reminder to make time for your relationship.
Yes.
And some girlies love Valentine's Day and that's all for you, good for you. Like I want you to want that. And I want your partner to respect that you want that. And not just girly, guys too. Like whatever. Some people, guys, I'm sure like Valentine's Day. It's just for me, it's not. I don't care.
Yeah, I completely understand.
You know?
It really, I think that I worked in a bakery for a really long time. So there was always an issue with every holiday because I was always pissy because they were always more slammed during the holidays. Yeah. And so that's why I thought I always hated Valentine's Day. And then I thought it was because I was in a loveless relationship for a really long time. So I thought that that's why I hated Valentine's Day. But then I realized that I don't think I've given a shit about Valentine's Day since I was in school and could receive lots of candy, and that's the only way I could get the candy. You know what I mean? I think that's when it ended, because think about the anxiety that Valentine's Day has always wrought upon people. And maybe this is just coming from a person that is diagnosed with general anxiety disorder, but I didn't realize that as a kid, that I thought that I really liked Valentine's Day because of the candy.
Right.
But it was so much a how many friends do you have situation
Totally.
that was really, honestly, never that big of a thing for me, because I've always had lots of friends. But it made me feel so bad and weird and guilty about everybody else. And especially remember the years, I don't know if you had this in your high school, but we had the kind of thing where people could pay for roses at the top of the day. And then they would come and stand in front of your class and read out the names of the people
Like Mean Girls and None for Gretchen Wieners.
And who got the roses. And
Wow.
so everybody knew who got so many roses, and everybody knew who got none roses. And so that's really where it started for me, that I would be like, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
Why are we so upset about this? And it's like, wait, and I would like pull off the petals and try to give them to other people if I received any roses.
Yeah.
Or I would buy extra ones and have them sent to me so that I could give them out to other people, because it made me feel so bad.
I totally hear what you're saying. You're right. I was hooked on Valentine's Day because honestly, seasonal candy and I are in love. I love a mini egg. I love a conversation. I love those chalky ass conversation hearts.
Why do you think I'm trying to become a snack influencer?
Yeah,
yes.
Those are my favorite. I love Reese's peanut butter cups, but I love them even better when they're shaped like a pumpkin, or they're shaped like a heart, or they're shaped like a Christmas tree.
The egg. Yes.
I love that. So anyway, I love the candy. And then, yes, I think there was also something about like starting towards the end of elementary school and middle school where it was like, it stopped being that you just got them for everybody in your class. Cause like my daughter's in kindergarten, she's giving one to everyone. She's got Minecraft.
Exactly.
She's got Minecraft Valentines, and everybody's getting one, including her teacher, and including she wants one for herself. So like, you know,
I love roses.
She just like, you know, and so then.
I mean, self-care comes first, Kara.
Yes.
I think this is beautiful.
And then there's like a time where it shifts to like, what I didn't like about it, I think, as a young person and as somebody who, I'll be honest, married the first serious relationship I was in, to be honest, I didn't like the whole waiting around, that it felt like guys have to pick girls. Like that it's like, well, I don't know, am I going to get a Valentine from anybody? Does anybody care? Does anybody like me? I hate that whole vibe of it. Like there was like a carnival where I grew up where you were supposed to have a date to it, even though we were like in middle school.
No, that's
and it was like,
not fair.
Who are you going to the May Fair with? And it was like, just me and a bunch of girlfriends were going, you know, like, and it was always like this weird thing. And I hated like the feeling, because news like flash, guys were not asking me because I'm loud as hell, and I always have been.
What? I don't feel validated at all.
Yeah, and I was like not getting a lot of like secret Valentines that were like, I love you, Kara. Like, no, that was not happening, you know? So I guess I've always just been like, oh, fuck it. And now that I have my person, I'm like, yeah, keep fucking it. I don't care.
I don't even care.
You know, and also when Jared and I used to do it at the beginning of our relationship, when we like had to go through the motions, we always went out on like the 12th or the 13th to get the reservation.
That's what I don't understand. For the people, I always ask the people that love going out on Valentine's Day, because again, I don't want to take people's happiness and excitement
if you
of
like
Valentine's
that.
Day. You have it. Keep it within your home. I hope that you both are really support each other in your love for Valentine's Day. But if there's one thing that upsets me more than anything, that's waiting to eat. And if you're going to tell me that I got to go out on a day and I'm going to have to wait to eat?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Unless, like, of course, you can get a reservation if you can on Valentine's. So, like, already, even if I were to celebrate Valentine's Day, I would never celebrate it on Valentine's Day, because I don't want to deal with the masses. In the same way that, like, I'm not that huge of a New Year's Eve person, because I think that there's just so much importance laid upon today. It's middle of February.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
I know. It's also like, because there's nothing happening in January, like holiday wise, really. All respect to Martin Luther King, but we're not really like joyously celebrating or going out to dinner or anything.
Certainly not this year.
Yeah. And then like February, it's like you're like, I guess we have Valentine's Day. Like my kids love looking at what like the next holiday is going to be. And for them, Valentine's Day, yeah, it's like winter's Halloween.
Of
They're
course.
just like, oh, I get a bunch of candy.
And you get a bunch of candy.
Yeah.
So that's why I understand why kids love Valentine's Day. I also have I have have a husband who loves to celebrate me. I'm very, very lucky. I love to be celebrated. That really works out well for me. But I also, again, hate to wait for food. So we always celebrate still, even though we are married, our dating anniversary is on February 24th. We still celebrate our dating anniversary.
You can get it at any fucking restaurant in the world on February 24th.
Nobody gives a shit.
Who gives a shit about February 24th?
So in my brain, I feel like I still get celebrated, but I don't have to deal with all of the issues of Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
But I also will say, I have to, you know what? Thank you, Kara, for not immediately judging me, because I have told other people that we still celebrate our dating anniversary, and I have received so much shit for this because I have been told by multiple people that when you get married, you're not supposed to celebrate your dating anniversary anymore. And I was like, why? It's another time that I get to not only receive presents, but I get to give presents, which are two of my favorite things.
Yeah.
And you get a reason to be like, oh, I guess we better because to me, a fun date night can still be, oh, we're not allowed, even floor is lava, but adult version of well, I guess we're fucking on the couch. I guess we're not getting up off the couch. We gotta order all our food in because it's oh, floor is lava. We gotta stay, we're having a fuckcation on the couch. Because you can turn anything into a date.
Yes. That's the thing. If you want to celebrate your first kiss, your first fuck, your first date, your first wedding, your first divorce, I don't really give a shit what you celebrate.
Right?
It makes a lot more sense to me to celebrate those dates that are fun for you and your partner than to be like, no, this is the government mandated day that we've all decided we celebrate love. That makes no sense to me.
And also, I highly recommend for those of you that you're like, you know what, Valentine's Day, not so much my thing, create other days. And maybe this is just coming from someone that has turned the very religious holiday of Easter into spring Thanksgiving just because I wanted another time to celebrate with food. And yes, I want a lighter version of Thanksgiving. So that's what spring Thanksgiving is. You can also make any day. You're like, you know what? I make up
Christmas in July. Sure. Do whatever you want.
That's your holiday that you celebrate with somebody or you make something.
And what I want to do is pretend that February 14th is just another Friday.
Just another Friday.
We'll be doing absolutely nothing. I mean, maybe we'll start Severance together. He's been wanting me to start Severance with him. Maybe that'll be my gift to him.
Honestly, you know what my gift is? That Jeff and his friend Rob are going on Valentine's Day to go see that new Captain America movie.
Okay.
Because I'd rather die.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I don't even know. I saw the trailer for it.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I was like, that's not.
There's a new one.
It's different though. And I just don't know anything. And I was like, please don't make me see it.
Yeah.
And I will usually volunteer to go to these movies. I'm down. Oftentimes
you're an A-lister.
It's the stubs. I'll do anything for stubs. And my problem is when I found out that the superheroes never fuck each other, because if I were a superhero, I would just immediately be fucking other superheroes. So it really just breaks my brain that in these movies, none of them are kissing and fucking on each other. So that's my biggest issue with all of them. And so this one especially, there's not going to be any kissing and fucking. And I was like, I can't. So he's going with a friend of his on Valentine's Day. And I said, sayonara.
Honestly, I'm looking at our calendar and I'm like, he's probably going to go do a comedy show. I don't even know.
Lord
it doesn't
knows.
matter. It just doesn't matter for us. But happy Valentine's Day for all of you that do celebrate. And we are going to do a couple of calls and emails and stuff about stuff that is related to that. But before that,
I do have a quick question for you.
Yeah.
Have you ever purchased horrific lingerie for a Valentine's Day?
No, I'm not a big lingerie gal. I had honestly, I feel sad to say this, that somebody gave me some cute lingerie for my bridal shower, and then I never wore it, and then I grew out of it. Now it doesn't fit me anymore.
Now it's
and I have one little silky short nightgown that you could, but it's also what a sitcom mom would maybe be getting up in the middle of the night with a problem wearing.
Yeah.
It's not super, it's a short, silky little nightgown, but it's not
not
sexy.
For sexy purposes.
It's not necessarily. Yeah, that's about as close as I have. I'm really fucking boring with that.
I don't think it's boring. I think it just depends on the person. I think certain people are really into it and some people aren't. I'm also not that into it. I just feel uncomfortable and that makes me feel unsexy.
I'm kind of allergic to lace and that knocks out a lot of lingerie.
Yeah.
It gives me itchiness. And then it's always with lingerie, I'm like, do I go try it on? like, I don't get it. Cause like, you can't really try it on with your underwear on. I don't know. I don't really get it. But also I gotta say, Jared's very easy to please. Like he doesn't need lingerie. He gets a boner like no problem.
God,
you know what I
isn't it
mean?
great? You know?
I'm not. No one's like coaxing anyone into being in the mood. You know what I mean? Like he's ready to go. So why do I need to go spend the money and get it and have an allergic reaction to lace?
No, well, yeah, all like itchy and just like scratching on yourself, being like, baby, I want to have sex with the baby.
Really quick before we get into our full calls and emails and stuff, I want to read this email that we got from a listener that says, with the name Bree. And she says, hello to you both, the bitches of Eastwick, the bitch perfect duo. Love that.
I love this.
She says, love you both so much. And I have a great question. After listening to this week's podcast, sorry for the Rona, Kara. Yes, I had COVID. And listening to your conversation about star signs, that's when I realized that me and Jackie are both Leos, and I'm just as shocked as you both to find out we didn't make the bitch list, because that shit is in my blood.
You're right.
Passed down from my Virgo mother and Sagittarius father.
Oh, damn.
So now she's on to the question regarding the bitch of conversation. I would love to know what your two opinions on the bitchiest dog breed, and why is your first thought a Chihuahua / Pomeranian? No hate to Henry's precious daughters. I myself have a Staffordshire Bull Terrier, which is basically the same as an American one, just with a British accent and a constant drip of Yorkshire tea. Wow, that was a long one. My apologies. And keep doing what you're doing, ladies. You make me look forward to Wednesday, even though it's my longest work day. Keep on bitching on, Bree. Thank you, Bree.
Yeah, thank you, Bree.
So I love this because I want you guys to keep sending us these. And we have a couple others people have submitted, so we'll do those in future episodes. But for today, we're going to do bitchiest dog breeds. For someone who's never had a dog, I can actually identify a lot of dog breeds. Like I know what the different ones look like. I don't really know their temperaments.
Really?
So I don't really know, I don't know. I will
I know
say
particularly chow chows, rough dogs, beautiful
really
dogs, beautiful dogs, but they're not good with kids. Everyone says that they have a really shitty temperament, and I've never had a chow chow before, but my mom grew up with a dog that was part chow chow, and that she's heard her entire life that chow chow is one of the worst dogs to have, just because they have a bitchy temperament.
Interesting.
And they're not consistent. And that is, I think it's also a consistency thing, because I am looking at a couple of lists right now that are talking about canonically the bitchiest dog
bitches,
breeds.
if you will.
Yes.
If we're talking about the females.
You're right. You're damn right. Now, my problem is that on a lot of these, they have pit bulls on the list.
Which is...
I feel that is, and now this is coming from someone I have met many an amazing pit bull in my day. I definitely have. I do agree that, it is based on how they are raised and, and the environment that they're in. Yeah. But people say but the anger still lives within them. And it's crazy because my mom had the best pit bull. She was just a mama. She was a mama dog, and she was just the chillest and sweetest, and I love this.
I've met so many great pit bulls, yeah.
And so I don't feel that this is fair, but I'm surprised because on every one of these lists are Weimaraners.
Hey, Fidelity. How can I remember to invest every month?
With the Fidelity app, you can choose a schedule and set up recurring investments in stocks and ETFs.
Oh, that sounds easier than I thought.
You got this.
Yeah, I do. Now, where did I put my keys?
You will find them where you left them.
Investing involves risk, including risk of loss. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
Instacart is here to keep you on the couch this basketball season. With pre-game rituals and post-game interviews, it's hard to find time for everything else. Let Instacart handle your game day snacks or weekly restocks with delivery in as fast as 30 minutes. Because it's bad luck to be hungry on game day. Download the Instacart app today and enjoy $0 delivery fees on your first 3 orders. Service fees apply for 3 orders in 14 days. Excludes restaurants.
You know what's so funny to me? Because when you Google bitchiest dog, you get a lot of most aggressive dogs. And I'm like, that's not what I was asking.
That's why I don't think pit
I wasn't
bulls,
asking that. I was asking bitchiest.
Bitchiest.
And a Weimaraner, I will say, serves kind of a cunty vibe.
Yes, and I don't know if it's just because of the Sesame Street. Remember the dogs was like, "Here comes the king," and they would sit there and they would be all dressed up in their costumes, and then I think sometimes they would give them arms and they would pretend like they were dogs. That's the only thing I know Weimaraners from. And so that's why I was like, no, they're regal, they're majestic dogs. They are a beautiful dog, but it does say that Weimaraners are they're bred to hunt big game. And so because of that, they're always wanting to hunt while they're at home. And it does mean that they play roughly with their humans. So that I could see as part of being a bitchy thing, because I'm also seeing on here, I grew up with a border collie, a Lassie dog. And I liked that she was a shepherding dog that would definitely always kind of like guide us from room to room. But I feel like some people see that as bitchy because they're a working dog.
Yeah, they think the dog's kind of like taking up territory, like being territorial or something like that.
Yes, yeah.
See, okay, first of all, I just want to say something I found very hilarious on the internet just now that says bitchiness, parentheses, rivalry between female dogs, is what a veterinary clinic calls bitchiness. Rivalry between female dogs. Bitchiness. But I will say, let me just throw in a random bitchy. I have a friend who's always had beagles, okay? And I've heard that beagles, because the reason why they are the fucking citrus dogs at the airport is because they have a great sense of smell.
Right.
But because of that, they're constantly smelling shit and it's making them go crazy all the time. That's why I think people think beagles are spazzy. Because I think they're like, what's that? What's that?
And
what's
why
that?
they yowl all the time.
Yeah. And one time my friend's beagle just fully got up on the table and grabbed my Subway sandwich. I mean, thank God I don't eat those anymore. But
this must have been a long time ago.
It was a long time ago before we knew about the yoga mats, and pulled it and put it on and dragged it under the couch and was like under there just eating it. And I was like, you little bitch. Her other beagle shat somewhere at a sleepover, and I put my hand in it in the middle of the night because I didn't know what it was. I thought somebody had dropped something on the ground. I just picked up shit.
Oh no!
So I've had a lot of experience with a couple of little bitchy beagles, but and also look at them at the airport trying to take your citrus away from you.
What
a
know.
bitch.
How dare they?
What a bitch! I got oranges. Let me through.
Yeah, I got to travel with my lemons. God damn it!
But I really don't like. I kind of like the way Chihuahuas are. I think that's funny that they're kind of like yappy and because it's like there's nothing they could do.
That's why I appreciate that Brie was like, I feel bad because of Henry's like perfect girls, because they are perfect, but they're
what
not.
What does he have?
He's got a Chi-Chi, and then I mean she's a mutt there, but she's like a small French poodle and a Chi-Chi, and then I don't know what Carmi is. Carmi is like, she's I think another like super mix of a bunch of different dogs. Because they're mutt owners, and I love my mutt owner family. I feel, though, they're very specifically bitchy. If you think about it, if you were that little and all of these big people were around you all the time, they don't want your face in their face. They don't want you hovering over them, or else like, right. And they make that sound. But once you get to know them, you also know that sound is them being like, I'm not going to bite you, but I need you to step off for a second. And you know what? Thank you, Wendy, for telling me when it is time for us to step off. You don't go right to biting. You let us know, and then you back off.
That is a dog in total control of herself.
Oh, my God, she's a ditch.
That's a ditch.
That's a ditch right there, everybody.
I mean, also, I would say, like, just classically, poodles seem like bitches, right? Like, everybody's like, because famously, I told my daughter that we could get a dog in 5 years. So in 5 years, I keep saying maybe we'll get a dog. And then I'm like, okay, I want something kind of small, and I want it to be hypoallergenic. And everybody's like, oh, like a doodle. And I'm like, I don't know. There's something about them.
Doodles are big.
Exactly. But maybe like a cockapoo doodle or something. I don't know. What am I saying? A cockapoo.
A cockapoo doodle?
A cockapoo. There's like cocker spaniel that's like a doodle. They're like smaller a little bit. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't want a highfalutin bitchy dog that thinks she's better than everyone
my
else.
problem.
You think you're better than me?
I get you because of Look Who's Talking Too.
Yes.
That movie made me think all poodles are bitches.
And Oliver and Company, when Bette Midler is the voice of the poodle, and she's a fucking bitch.
And she's a bitch. So maybe, maybe this is society telling us that poodles are bitches, all right? And maybe they're not.
Maybe they're not.
But maybe they are. So, let us know.
Let us know if you've got a bitchy poodle. But that's about as far as I can go on that. But we have some great emails and calls today. So
thank you guys so much for hitting
thank you
us
guys
up.
always for trusting us with your personal issues.
Yeah.
It's very humbling.
And you could give us your own personal issues. Go to who'sthebitch.com. You can hit us up. You can leave us a voicemail. You can send us an email. You can leave us a DM over on the Insta.
And I can't express enough how much I love oh my God, my friendship is crumbling. Oh my God, my relationship with my mother is in dire straits. But I also love my friend wants me to pick up her Switch at the airport and I just don't want to do it. Like, I do love, if you guys have like stupid, what you would consider stupid little bitchy problems.
We'll take it all.
Please, we'll take them. I love those too. But let's start out with this first one. Jackie, you read this one.
You got it.
It's at the top there.
You got it.
Hi, Jackie and Kara. I'm 45 years old and in my first healthy relationship. Good for you. Yes. My partner is a really kind and caring person and I love him so much. Last year, we went from long distance to moving in together in a very small home. After living alone for a while, we both knew this could be tough as a couple of weirdos set in our own weird ways. I'm not officially diagnosed, but pretty sure I'm autistic and find a lot of situations difficult, but have pretty much figured out how to live the way I need to be okay, if that makes sense. Makes complete sense. Before moving in together, I said I would go out walking if I ever needed my own space, as I love being alone with nature and need the exercise too, if I'm honest. Once I moved to my partner's town, I immediately signed up to volunteer walking shelter dogs. I wanted to do this for some time and also to help out dogs in need. My partner decided he wanted to come along, and I said that was fine because I'm a people pleaser and it seemed like a reasonable request. We got involved in the social media of it all and soon found out his crazy ex was volunteering at the same place. Whoa. And she bombarded him with emails about how it wasn't fair for us to invade her safe space, etc. So after one session, we politely withdrew from the group and I applied somewhere else, which is a 45-minute drive away. I love that I can have my driving podcast time, then my dog walking time, and then spend some time cuddling the dogs, which really helps me after losing my dog last year. I'm so sorry. The problem is, my partner always wants to come with me. He doesn't like my podcasts. I know, what the fuck. So that's out. Then,
red flag.
Then because he isn't great in the mornings, he's a pain and really doesn't seem to be enjoying himself. Plus, we have to drop his dog off with family before we go, so that's a whole other thing as his dog hates it and we have to leave even earlier. Then I felt pressured to get the dogs walked quickly and leave, and he often seems sort of annoyed by the dogs, which are mostly big, boisterous bullies, my favorite kind. At this point, I have pretty much given up going because it's all too much. I know I should probably talk to him about this, but he's so sensitive and I know he'll be upset. Plus, who am I to stop him volunteering if he wants to? Am I the bitch for wanting to do this by myself? Maybe I'm the bitch for not being grateful that he wants to do things with me? Or am I a bitch for not just discussing this with him like a normal person? I really feel like I need it for my sanity, but I also know I'll probably never enjoy it again if I tell him not to come and he's upset. We spend so much time together, and one thing I know about myself is I need time alone, whereas he would happily be together 24/7. P.S. His crazy ex, who dated him for less than a year, way before we met, I'm definitely not that kind of a bitch, also volunteers at the new place, but I've managed to keep this hidden from her so far. Oh my God.
Jesus, back off.
Sorry for the long email. Hoping you guys can put this in perspective for me. I've really been enjoying the podcast. It's hilarious and also genuinely helpful for people like me who aren't sure how to behave like an acceptable member of society. I'm sending you love, babe.
I don't know if we're telling you how to be an acceptable member of society.
We know these things. Yeah.
Listen, first of all, fuck this ex that's working at every dog shelter within an hour radius.
Or that it's at different ones. Like, was he working? Like, was he only working at these places and then like banging the people that he was working with? I'm so curious.
Like, so weird. And also, like, even you having to leave the first place is weird. It's like you show up, you walk some dogs. It's not like you're I don't know, maybe you could have been like, hey, is there a way you could tell me when your shifts are so that I won't be there when you're there? Because that's like crazy for her to tell you not to go there. But I understand why you guys just were like, we'll go off.
We'll
and do
go
our own
somewhere
thing.
else.
Here's the thing. I think you said it in this. You need alone time and he wants to be together 24/7.
Yes.
And it's important for you to communicate that to him. Whether he's upset or not, that's not the issue, girl. Like, you need to do what you need to do. But yeah, I just think it's like, I know it's going to be tough. And I think there's a totally non-threatening way you could go into it with him and just say, you know what? I'm okay with you coming with me maybe every other time or something, but every other time, I think I want to do it on my own. I like to spend a lot of time. I don't want to stress your dog out. You know, sometimes you're a little bit grumpy in the morning, and I just think I need the time for me. I need to be alone. And I don't want you to take that personally, because that's just how I am. And if you're in a healthy relationship, then he should respect that.
Yes. And,
you know?
And because that is part of being a people pleaser in a healthy relationship, because I understand you. I completely get it. I am also in a relationship with someone that needs alone time, and I'm the one that could be around him 24/7.
I'm like not an alone time person, really.
Yes.
But I'm like, it took me a lot of time, even with like friends, and like to be like, oh yeah, sorry, I forgot, you might need alone time. Like, I just don't need it. So like, yeah.
Same, completely. And I feel like that's really what you need to zone in on, because maybe, all right, you even said, now if he starts not coming with you, you probably won't like it as much because you know you've asked him not to go. So I do understand that. Then it is imperative that you choose something else that is just for you.
Yeah.
If this then, all right, or, you know, maybe you still will go and do this with him every once in a while because this seems really good for you. You like it in so many ways.
Yeah.
It is now just providing more stress than it is providing relief and relaxation to you.
And maybe if you figure out something you could do with your partner that's different.
Yes.
That way, when you introduce the idea of doing this by yourself, you're like, well, I'm not telling you I don't want to spend time with you because we just started, you know, volunteering at the library, or we just started taking a pottery class together, or whatever. Like, do something else that's like more accessible that you feel like both of you will like equally.
Yes.
And that way your thing can be your thing.
Yes.
And coming at him like in a really, really non-threatening way that's like, hey, I've been trying to figure out a way to talk to you about this. I really don't want you to get upset. Like, I really love listening to my podcasts on the way there. It's a ritual for me. Like, I like the alone time. I like being out with the dogs as long as I want to be out there. And it just feels like it makes more sense for me to go on my own. What do you think? You know?
Right.
Because...
And talking it out.
Yeah, you need this. And he needs to know that you need this. And you need to communicate it.
It's an important part of learning how to communicate what you need. It is.
And he might be thinking, no, this is what boyfriends do. Boyfriends do everything with their partners, and you do everything together. Otherwise, that means you don't love each other. And like, you could just have to disabuse him of that. Like, I'm not mad at you. I don't not want to spend the time with you. It's just, I need the time for myself. I recognize that you're not like that.
Yes.
But I need it.
Exactly. You know? And understanding that you're both different, and trying to get it across too that it's not personal.
Yeah.
That it has nothing to do with him. You're trying to just say what you need. In fact, oftentimes there are times that, like, now Jeff and I are starting to learn new art things together, and we do them at the same time but separately, in a way that we're both plugged in and like listening to our own thing while we're both working, and we say that we're hanging out separately but together, and that works for him, and that is a way that we figured out. And like, as me as a people pleaser that also takes everything personally, we figured that was a way for us, for him to feel like he has alone time while I feel like I'm around him and still ask him any question, but we both have checked out and we are disassociating.
And you can
together.
enjoy it in the way that you want to enjoy it.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah, I get it, because I know you're saying that you have some, like, you know, a little bit of like maybe tendencies to people please or to not know how to address situations in like the appropriate way. And I think it's just like, this is just part of being together, like that you have to express your boundaries, your things that are like just for you. And that's completely okay. And if he tries to turn it around on you in some kind of way that he makes it upset, like, then he's making it about him.
Right.
And that's not what it's about.
Right.
It's about you getting the time that you need on yourself. Not to mention, you threw it in there kind of casually, but you moved to his town. It sounds like you picked up and moved to his area.
Yeah.
So whatever you need to do to keep your sanity, keep your mental health, like do your self-care, that's you should be able to do that.
Yes.
So, I thought this was a good one for, especially our unofficial Valentine's Day episode, that it's like a little, I get it. You're like in this really healthy relationship for the first time. And I get that you're like, oh, I don't want to rock the boat. But that doesn't mean sacrificing your, the shit that you want to do.
You're damn right.
Yeah.
You're damn right.
Yeah. Listen,
I support you, babe.
Support
I support you.
Let us
and you're
know
not,
what happens.
But I guess you know what? Nobody is the bitch. I do feel like I dare say the only person that is the closest to a bitch in this would be the ex that tells you that you're not allowed to volunteer there.
That says that a dog shelter is her safe space and that you cannot help other dogs.
Yes.
Dogs will not be getting help that they need because you cannot be there because of her. I don't like that.
I mean, I guess I'm happy she's standing up for herself, but like, he's not even going to be inside of the shelter. He's going to be out walking the dogs.
I know. All right. Let's play a call, okay? Here we go.
Thank you for calling Who's the Bitch. Tell us in the voicemail who's the bitch. Beep.
Hi, just calling to find out to see who is the bitch. A little bit of backstory. Built a friendship with this girl over the last 7-8 years. We started off working together, but our friendship didn't really take off until after she no longer worked with the company. So fast forward through the years, we got super, super close with one another. We were in contact with each other almost every day. We attended each other's weddings. She ended up having a little one. And then for her second, we ended up getting pregnant at the same time. So that made our friendship grow even more drastically because we were in constant contact about how our pregnancies and babies were growing.
Aww.
So fast forward, we both had our babies, her second, my first. And after a few months of her second being born, she took a family trip out of state, or a trip to see her family out of state, leaving her 2 little ones home with Dad, her husband. As you can hear my little one in the background. And so whenever I found this out, I was telling my husband that, and he recommended that we reach out to her husband and find out if he needed anything while she was out of town. So I promptly did that, and reaching out and showing, saying, hey, if you need a cup of coffee, a bite to eat, or just a few minutes freedom, and we will come over and watch the kids. He let me know everything was going well and that no help was needed. End of conversation. Well, whenever she got back into town, she went off on me, telling me how dare I reach out to her husband, especially while she was out of town, made it seem like I was trying to pick him up, and that all further communications to him needed to go through her first. Keep in mind, she was states away. I explained this all to her. She was still very pissed off that I ever reached out to him to begin with, which was my husband's idea to begin with. So I ghosted her. I constantly think about how her little ones are doing and would love to have a play date and everything and kind of miss that friendship. But is it too late? Should I go back? Should we try to apologize? Who's the bitch? Thanks. Love to hear the feedback. Have a great day, ladies. Love you.
You have the cutest little voice.
I love your voice. I love your vibe.
This one is, I was like, it's so wild.
Every bold journey starts with a decision to go. And if you're ready, the Defender is too. This is a vehicle built for more. Whether you're heading off the grid or just getting out of town for the weekend, Defender is a true icon reimagined for a new generation. Its rugged exterior is built from durable materials and tested in the toughest conditions. Inside, it's modern, functional, and refined, with smart storage and premium touches that keep you comfortable wherever the road leads. It's packed with tech, like 3D surround cameras, clear sight ground and rear views, driver assist features, and an intuitive infotainment system. With 3 models, the Defender 90, 110, and 130, there's a Defender for every kind of adventure. From city streets to remote trails, this is a vehicle that, like you, is capable of great things. Explore the full Defender lineup at LandRoverUSA.com.
Instacart is here to keep you on the couch this basketball season. With pre-game rituals and post-game interviews, it's hard to find time for everything else. Let Instacart handle your game day snacks or weekly restocks with delivery in as fast as 30 minutes. Because it's bad luck to be hungry on game day. Download the Instacart app today and enjoy $0 delivery fees on your first 3 orders. Service fees apply for 3 orders in 14 days. Excludes restaurants.
It's so weird because I'm not joking. You know, oftentimes comedians would be like, oh, the other day, and they mean like actual years ago. Literally yesterday, Jeff and I were talking about this because a friend of mine was like, wanted to ask Jeff questions, but was including me in the chat, like in all of the questions. And then I was like, yo, I made like a little joke. I was like, I don't care. I don't know anything. And she was like, oh, I would never text your husband if you weren't on the text. And I was like, I've known you for so long. What are you talking about? I was like, why? I didn't think about it.
Just do a quick reminder to everybody that it is 2025.
It's so weird that this call just came in because I was like, why? For what?
It's like Mike Pence not being able to eat a meal
what Jeff
with a member of the opposite sex. It's
exactly
so crazy.
What Jeff said. Where he's like, what am I not to be controlled? What do you think is gonna happen?
Let me tell you, first of all, caller, that because she didn't leave a name. Sweet Voice, we'll call you Sweet Voice. This girl's telling on herself. She's got some major trust issues with her husband.
Yeah.
Major. Because as a mother, I cannot imagine thinking anything but, oh my God, that is so sweet. Because it's hard for guys to reach out sometimes to ask for help. When I go out of town, my husband's always like, he can handle it. Like, he can handle it, but it is hard.
It's a lot.
And he's always like, oh, what am I going to do with them? And I'm always like, reach out to people. You got to make plans with people. And he's not always good at doing that.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I'll reach out to friends and be like, can you just like see if Jared like wants to get together with your kids because he's, whatever. And I'm always like so thankful when a friend does that. And granted, I'm saying like I'm the one that's putting that ball in motion. But I would never care if a dear friend of mine reached out to my husband to offer help for our family.
Yeah.
The texts were not like, hey, if you feel like getting a babysitter and you want to hang out a little bit while your wife's out of town, let me know.
Lick your upper thighs. You know what I mean? Like, what do you...
The thing was, if you need a break, I'll come over and watch your kids. I'm offering free childcare and support. I'm trying to be your village. And your friend is slapping that like out of your fucking hand as you're offering it.
And don't get me wrong, I'm sure that it's not like it's like it could never happen of a, hey, baby, what's up kind of text message that a person could receive from another person. But that's literally any person that has a cell phone number can receive. That other, like, it breaks my brain because... if I had those trust issues, we would be talking about a lot of other things when I would go out of town. Because you're right, Kara. I feel like anyone I know that, like, if they are in a relationship and has to leave one of the other parents alone with the kids, they'll usually like blare the trumpet of like, my husband will be alone. Someone needs to help him. And like, we come together.
Or like, I've had long periods of time with a newborn when my husband was out of town. And I loved people that just like took it upon themselves to contact me. And I'm sure some men, there were guys that contacted me after I had a baby that are friends with my husband. They were like, when can I come see the baby? I wasn't like, they're trying to have sex with me, Jared, and they did not run it by you. Like, we don't own each other. This is disgusting the way that she's talking to you about everything has to go through me. Are you friends as people, as couples, or not? Like, honestly, you said at the end, I know you miss the kids and that sucks, but Jared and I have a phrase that we always say speaks to worldview. Like, because when we were first dating, like I would go, well, what do you think of that person? And he'd be like, well, do you know what he said to me about this? And I'd be like, oh, well, that's like one comment. And he goes, no, it speaks to their worldview. That is how they see the world. And if this girl could not see that you are a trustworthy friend that was reaching out to offer help, this isn't going to be the first time, then it's not going to be the last time that she goes off on you for you overstepping a boundary that makes no sense that she's created.
Especially at this point, because part of me wants to be like, well, have you thought about like talking to her about her relationship? Because obviously she's got issues with her relationship because I mean, I dare say most likely it might not have anything to do with you.
No, it doesn't. It's about the husband. It's about the husband.
Completely about the
and
husband.
her trust issues.
And her relationship with him. And so I feel like if you were different friends, I'd be like, what's up with that? Why are we saying this?
But it sounds like they had a convo where she goes, I explained to her that it was my husband's idea and everything, and she was just still pissed.
That's why then, done. If you're not going to hear me.
I don't think you're dumb for ghosting. I don't think you're a bitch. And I think that sucks that you love the kids, you know, and you want to know how they're doing. And you there was a time where you really envisioned like your kids, like, you know, growing up together and stuff. And I've definitely I've had friendships grow apart where I'm like, oh, that's crazy. Like, I thought our kids would just be friends forever. You know what I mean?
Right. How do you explain that to the kids? Like, do you have to go through that with the kids then?
Kids are like goldfish. I mean,
they just don't
maybe
remember.
ask about another kid a couple times and then like, you're like, oh, but you're going on a play date with so-and-so. They're like, blah, blah, blah. You know,
it just goes away.
They don't pay attention.
Yeah.
Like, but, it's to a certain age. I'm not saying like, you know, 10-year-olds, you can just like, rip away from their friends or whatever.
What friends?
Yeah,
just
like,
gaslight the 10-year-old.
Yeah.
You've never had friends.
Yeah, but I don't think you guys should go back to apologize. And you said you ghosted her. Did that not send her a message? Has she reached out to apologize or mend things? I think you going back makes no sense to me because it's like her worldview, man. Like she's suspicious of you and doesn't trust you.
Yes, and also I'm sorry that you lost a friend.
Yeah.
Because like someone that you just went through something so life transformative together.
It sucks, especially you find those friends that you're like, oh, we're like mom pals and like going through the same shit at the same time and having
this is gonna go
bleeding nipples at the same time and all that. And
especially while you're going through like I mean, not saying that every person goes through postpartum, but I imagine like going through all of these huge life changes and then all of a sudden she's ripped away too.
Maybe she was going through postpartum and maybe like in her mind postpartum makes you go a lot of places. I haven't had it, but like, you know, from what I've heard, it's like she could think, oh my God, she's trying to, I'm disgusting now that I had a kid. So everyone's trying to fuck my husband and he's going to want to because I'm gross or whatever, because I'm still healing from having a baby. You know, it's horrible, but that's like the trick. That's not true either.
Yeah, of course
I'm just saying these are the tricks that your mind plays on you when you have these kind of things going on, like postpartum. Or, like she is judging me for going out of town and leaving my babies behind. And that's why she's trying to get involved and help because she thinks my husband can't handle it. There's a lot of paranoia there and it could totally be postpartum related. So maybe I'm being a little bit too harsh on this woman. But again, if she hasn't come to you and said like, shit, you know, the dust has settled and I realize that you were just kind of being nice, then I don't really think it's going to behoove you to go back to her.
Yeah.
That's my advice.
It's too bad. And you know, take it as it comes. If she does turn around and come back to you and apologize, you know.
But I wouldn't, if she comes back to you and is like, want to get the kids together? Sure. But I would be like, I just don't want to gloss over what happened.
Yeah,
like,
you
because
can't.
That really hurt my feelings that I feel like I reached out to offer you help and be your village. Like it really is a fucking village. I know that's like cliche, stupid
but you
crap,
need
but
to
like,
have it.
You have to have that. And like you completely like spat in my face and were like accusatory. Like I don't like that.
No, you're right. You need to be able to trust everyone in your village. We need to be able to rely on each other, especially now with everything going on. It's like we need to be good to each other.
But also you don't need to be friends with somebody who, if it's not postpartum and it's not something like that, then it's just somebody who has like whack gender norms.
Then,
where, like,
that's
women don't talk to men that are married. Like come on. Grow up.
Isn't it insane that was a part of like society's rhetoric for such a long time of like, as someone that like I have plenty of male friends that I have not slept with, that I've not gone on dates with, that I never wanted to. And that the fact that can't be, and that was such a like accepted part of society for such a long time is so insane.
It's so crazy because it's like one of my favorite movies is When Harry Met Sally, and like the crux of that movie is men and women can't be friends.
Right.
But I disagree with that
completely.
Like fundamentally.
Yes.
But also, since I've taken on many of my husband's friends and my friends' husbands in, you know, whatever, I feel like I have so many male friends that I'm not attracted to in any way or that are like brothers to me, you know? So it's just so old school to be like go through me. Ugh. It's dumb.
Who's got the time? What, I gotta field all my husband's calls?
Yeah.
No, I don't give a shit. You do you.
No, it's text messaging. It's not like
good
you're
Lord.
fucking, I don't know. It's not like you're sending him sexy voice notes.
Also, it's all in writing.
Yes.
So if anything that you're nervous about, even though I think it's very weird and uncomfortable that some people feel the need to read their partner's text messages and things like that, which is not how I live my life whatsoever. But like, even then, it's in writing. You can't even be like, I don't even know what you'd say.
It's honestly so unhinged that I'm kind of like, something is wrong with her, or she's going through postpartum or something.
She's going
but
through
like
something.
You gotta either, I don't know. I think she's got to come to you and apologize. Or if you really care about getting it back together, I think you can say, I miss your kids and I miss our friendship, but I'm sort of resolute in I did nothing wrong to cause this rift. And maybe you could apologize for the ghosting. I'm sorry I ghosted, but I really didn't know how to handle how aggressive you were and how you treated me in the face of me attempting to help you and your family. So I'm sorry I ghosted, but I still don't think I did anything wrong. But I don't know. It sounds like you explained everything to her at the time and she didn't take it. So
I know.
I don't know.
That's why I think I say next.
Yeah.
Next bus.
I'm sorry, though. It's a long friendship like that. It's hard.
It sucks.
Especially with those milestones. I know it's hard, but yeah, you didn't do anything wrong, baby.
No, she's the bitch.
All you did was have a cute ass voice. All right.
You've got
Hi, ladies. Loving the pod. Longtime listener of page 7. Love you, Jackie.
Love you.
I'm new to Kara, but haven't missed an episode. So love you too, girl. Thank you. Thank you for your new love. So let's get to the deets. I've been with my boyfriend almost 8 years.
Okay.
Most of the time, he does treat me like a princess.
As it should
but
be.
he is still a man and needs guidance. I do a lot of things for him I wouldn't normally do or want to do, like go fishing or outdoor expos for his hobbies, especially when he says he just wants to spend time with me and show me his interests. I haven't gone fishing in a while with him because I had a panic attack the last time I tried to go because it was rough out.
Oh my God, I can't even imagine.
He was totally nice about it. We drove 1.5 hours and we were on the water for less than 20 minutes before the panic attack set in. We were in Michigan, so it was like on a Great Lake, not some little lake.
Oh yeah, that's a big
so
lake.
That's basically like fishing on the ocean, I feel like. But I go to fishing expos with him, all these outdoor man stores. When he wants to go shopping, I make an effort and I will go fishing again eventually. Not just that, but when he wants to work overtime or spend time with his friends, I just let him do his thing. My only rule is be with me on Christmas and my birthday. So recently, I got but it doesn't sound like that's part of it.
Oh, okay.
So recently, I
thought it'd be like, and then my birthday.
And
I was like,
here I
no.
am sitting alone.
Oh no!
So recently I got concert tickets with a friend, and for a month before that was the concert. I talked about how excited I was about going. I told my boyfriend how upset I would be if I got sick and missed the concert. The day before the concert, the friend I was going with really did get sick and I couldn't find anyone else to go with me last minute. It was a weekday. The concert was almost 2 hours away and winter in Michigan, so I really didn't want to go by myself, even though I really contemplated it. I asked my boyfriend to go with me, and he said, I don't know. We would get back really late. I have work and then school after. He started a new department and had to take classes for it. And I said, okay, I knew how stressed school has made him. So I sold the tickets while I still had a chance to make some money back. But then after I sold the tickets, he started telling me how he had a bunch of paid time off hours he had to use at work that would expire in May. So in theory, he could have taken some time off work in the morning to rest after the concert and still could have gone to class. Am I being a baby bitch I didn't get my way? Or is he a selfish bitch? Or is he just a dumb man that didn't even realize it? Thanks. Love you. This is a toughie.
This is a toughie.
Because this would piss me off.
This would piss me off, but I guess my biggest question is, can he ask for time off that fast?
Yeah.
Is he able to call? Like that, I think is a huge, this hinges completely on that. If it was the day before, would he have been able to call in and get the time off? Not everybody can. It really depends on other people's schedules, and it depends on what else, it depends on what other things, what other working parts there are.
Right.
That would be my biggest question, because I would assume, I feel like they are the kind of thing that it would make sense if he later on was like, oh, I could have, I could have done that. Like, which I think that we've all been that person in a relationship before.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's just a male quality. I do feel that it is just like, oh God, because sometimes you're so wrapped up in your own things and the things you got to get done that you're not thinking about things like that as clearly and as rationally. But I guess because They do say that it was was it the next day, right?
Yeah,
that they
she
said
says
that?
she said the day before the concert.
Oh, and it was the day before, and then
The friend canceled.
and the
Yeah.
friend canceled. But then it was the PTO. They were talking about the PTO hours, like immediately after you sold the tickets.
Right after you sold the tickets, right after she sells the tickets, he's like, "Oh God, I got all these PTO days I got to take," and she's like, "Bitch, couldn't you have just taken one for this?" But it could be what you're saying, like it could be that. I mean, but I'm sure you could ask that. You could be like, "Wait, could you have taken it? Can you take PTO off really last minute?" But it also sounds like it's possible he was just like, "I don't want to do that." I'll tell you something. For my other podcast, we do live shows. You do live shows, right? Every time we do these live shows, we get guys that are sitting in the front with their girlfriend, with their arms crossed.
Don't want to
and
be
they look
there.
fucking pissed.
Hate that
And you
they're
know what?
there.
I'll pat myself on the back because by the end of the show, they're having a great fucking
They're
time.
smiling.
But at the beginning, they're always got their arms crossed, like, ugh. And we always make fun of them. And we go, "Oh, did she come to a football game with you? And now this is your punishment?"
Right.
Better get on board because I bet she didn't have her arms crossed, acting like an asshole when she was at the football game or whatever. Not to be too heteronormative about it, but like you go to him with all these expos, you go to him all this fishing, you support him in what he does. I guess my bigger question is, do you feel, because you said he normally treats you like a princess, do you feel like this kind of has happened a bunch of times where he won't really go do something with you that like, you really want? Because if it's becoming a pattern, I would definitely say it's something you got to bring up.
Yes.
If it's this one time, there are moving pieces like the class and the thing, and like it is hard to be like, "Oh yeah, I guess tomorrow I'm just gonna like scrap my whole day and drive 2 hours away to go to a concert that I wasn't really planning on going to, and then come back and be tired for work and whatever." Like I get that. But if it's happening over and over again, when he knows it's important to you, then that's something to address.
Yes, that is a much bigger part of the conversation, because I also understand not wanting to. I have very different likes and dislikes from my husband, and there are often times that I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. Why would I ever want to do that?
That's the thing. It's like I'm so different, like from you, caller, and just in the sense that like if I had a concert and nobody else could go, I wouldn't even ask him. Like, I don't know.
Well, this doesn't exist anymore.
No, we've had good time at concerts together. I'm trying to think of something that's like so specifically me. Like if I had tickets to like a drag show, not that he watches Drag Race with me, but I don't think he would want to go to like a crowded drag show when they're playing loud music and like that's not his scene.
Right.
So I wouldn't really ask him. And if I did ask him, he'd probably be like, "Do you really want me to?" Like, we kind of have those kind of conversations.
Yes.
We have those kind of conversations where it's like, "Is it really important for you that I go to this? Because I really don't feel like going to a party tonight." Or does it really mean a lot to you? And I'll usually be like, "Not really. It's fine."
But it's also having those honest conversations.
Yeah.
It is literally looking someone in the eye, being like, if you don't want to go, I'd rather you tell me you just don't want to go.
Right.
And say that, like,
Then make excuses.
Then make an excuse. And I think that is also a bigger conversation that needs to be had between the two of you of like, and also, if you don't want to go fucking fishing, don't go fishing.
Yeah, if you're like, every time I do it, I get a panic attack, then girl, you just don't go fishing. I don't go to horror movies with my husband because I don't like to see bodies splayed open with their intestines going everywhere. That's just what I do. But you go to the expos, you go to the other stuff so you guys can spend time together. There's 3 sets of shit in every relationship. There's your shit, their shit, and then the shit you do together.
Right.
And they don't all have to be, all 3 people don't need to be participating in all 3 of those baskets.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And especially when, like, I remember how deflated Jeff was when he had been waiting years after quarantine. It got canceled. The Rammstein concert, they don't come here very often. His friend that they had been waiting years to go see it, he couldn't go last minute. And he just looked at me in the way and he's like, "You want to go to Rammstein?" And I was like, "Sure, that sounds fun." But like I could tell that he didn't want to go with me, but he had no one else. It was like last minute and he wanted to go so badly. And I went and I put on the best smile of my life. Like I really put myself into it. But again, that's not going out on a boat that I would be terrified of.
I know. And it's also like she talked about it for like a month, how excited she was about to go to the concert.
Know.
So it does suck that like, because he could have just gone with you. But
I
like,
would have gone to him and be like, "I know that you don't want to go, but this would be for me. Would you please put on a dumb outfit? You know, it's like, I don't know if you dress up to go to this thing of like, maybe make it something fun of like do this for me. I'm not asking you to do it. And like, because any person like, and I'm not talking about like a man, a woman thing. Any person in a relationship that does like the arms folded, like, I guess I'll be here. I ain't got no patience for that. I don't want to be around that.
Because I see all kinds of couples at my live shows bringing it back to that. And I love the ones that like come up to me and go, she just loves you so much. Like they're excited that their partner is excited.
Yes.
And like, so that's like what you want. You want it to be like, hey, but I could absolutely see my husband doing what your guy did. I could see him going, ooh, I have work tomorrow. I have like he puts some things like ahead of other things. And if I was like, please come to this with me, I think he could definitely say no. And you have the right to be mad. I would definitely I could be mad, but he's definitely told me no before when I've said like, please come to this thing with me. I need someone to go with me.
Also part of it, and I'm not saying that this is saying like necessarily for the writer, but someone that used to be in a relationship where I did a lot more for the other person. There was also the like anger of like, do you realize how much I do for you?
Yeah.
And you're not even going to do this one thing.
Yeah.
But also if you're feeling that way, also talk to them about that.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
Because that's something that if you are starting to feel a resentment that you didn't even realize until this situation, start working on that too. Because the resentment is just going to live within you and curdle you like milk.
Yeah.
You don't want to be curdled. You're too beautiful to be curdled.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. All right, we've got a couple more, so let's power through.
All right.
Thank you. I mean, let us know what happens. I mean, I don't think you're being a selfish bitch or a baby bitch. We're really looking forward to something, and it's okay to be disappointed.
You should be,
And I think you kind of just want to get to the bottom line. I think you want to get to the bottom of whether he just didn't feel like doing something for you, or if it was like legitimately
couldn't do it.
I really can't do it, and I think that would show if a week later he's like, hey, I know you didn't get to go to that concert, so I planned this other fun thing for us to do that I know you also love. You know, like let's make sure it doesn't feel one-sided, like you're at fishing expos every fucking weekend and he's not doing anything you like.
Yes.
You know? All right, Jackie, read us. This is a DM that came to us.
My roommate and her BF have been together for a couple of years now, and I'm friends with both of them since childhood. They spend half the time here and half the time at his place. They're currently looking for a place together. Great. Here's where I'm trying not to be a total bitch. He's got the flu. And on Wednesday, she said, I've got to go to work and G will be in my room. He's not feeling well. It's Friday and he's got the plague and he's still here in my home, sick as fuck. Should I say something or does that make me the bitch? Also, side bitchiness, she works as a server, so she's sleeping in the sick ward and waking up to serve y'all breakfast cocktails.
Yeah.
Oh no. Isn't it insane as someone that, again, used to work I worked in restaurants for a really long time. Man, it didn't matter how sick you were. You better be at work.
Yeah.
I'm so glad those kind of things have changed.
I think COVID changed a lot of that stuff where everybody's like, oh, if you're sick, stay home.
Stay
you know,
home,
like
stay
it's
home.
like I used to power through everything.
Oh,
like
yes.
sick. But I get this. This sucks because it's like he got there Wednesday and he's just at your house because like you can be in bed with the flu for like, I just had it. I just had the fucking flu at Christmas and then I had COVID a month later. But like for the flu, it's like if you don't get on that fucking Tamiflu right away, that's like 8 or 9 days you could be.
Oh yeah, you're down for the count.
And that is gross that your roommate is sleeping in there with him. Like, I'd be on the couch and like letting him just quarantine in there.
I guess I don't understand why, like, how far is he from his place and why isn't she staying at his place with him in his bed while she stays with him? Like, if they need to be together during all of this.
Yeah, so she can take care of him when she's not at work. Like, yeah, they should go back to.
They should be out of your spot, and I don't think you're being the bitch here. And
I don't think you're being the bitch for being like, I pay rent and I don't want to get sick.
Yes, or whenever he leaves the room, he can have a mask on. And
yeah.
I know that sucks, but I went through all of quarantine with roommates, and that's what we fucking did.
Yeah.
If one of us had COVID, then when you're in
that's
that,
what I
when
just
you're
did with my fucking kids,
with your own kids, it's like when you're out, like if you we essentially like lived in a bedroom for years, and when we would leave, if we were sick, we would keep a mask on, and we would like Lysol all like any doorknob we would touch and things like that. That is how you meet someone halfway during an instance like this. At least try.
It doesn't
to
make
keep your
sense they weren't back at his place. I don't get that.
That's why I don't think you're being a bitch. It would be one thing if they literally like, oh, you all live together, so, well, where else is he going to go?
Yeah.
But he's got his own place.
And you're friends with him, too, since childhood. So it is kind of like you're telling your friend, get your sick ass out of my house.
Yes, I'm going to kick your ass out unless you keep your sick away from me. In fact, I think it actually should make it easier since you know this person from childhood of like, get your sick ass out my house.
Yeah.
Get it out of here. No, thank you. And this is coming from, I also, when one of us is sick in the house, because it's just the two of us, I just wait and I'm just going to get sick. I don't try to keep it from each other because it's like.
We sleep in separate rooms if we can, just because
you've got kids.
We have kids. And if both of us are sick, it's like, what the fuck are we going to do? You know?
Yeah.
So,
and in my home, it's like, well, I'm going to take care of him until I get sick. And then he's going to take care of me, which is just, we take turns taking care of each other, but it's just the two of us.
Yeah.
He's not being a bitch. I don't know if anyone's being a bitch in this situation, but I do think that they could think a little bit more about the situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
But thank you so much for writing in.
Thank you for writing in, and I hope by the time we read this, he was fucking out of your house and
get him out of there.
Done with the flu, but. Yeah, it's just kind of like common courtesy stuff. Like, it's like, oh, if you're sick and you have the option to be somewhere, and maybe he's like, oh, but then my roommates are going to get sick. And it's like, okay, but your roommates agreed to live with you. Roommates get sick. This is like, she did not agree to live with you.
That's the thing. Exactly. You know? There is no.
And she's sleeping in there with you, which means she is going to get sick.
She's going to get sick.
Fucking flu, man. It's crazy.
It ain't nothing to shake a stick at.
But thank you all so much for writing to us. Thank you for emailing, for DMing. You can figure out all ways to leave us messages at who'sthebitch.com. Our next live stream is going to be March 10th. So tune in. If you're like, what the hell is a live stream? I just listened to you guys as a podcast. You just watch us on Twitch and you get to talk in a little chat box on the side with all these other funny people.
Yeah, we get to talk to you.
And it's like hilarious. And we talk to you live. We take calls live and it's really fun. So.
And you don't have to sign up for anything. That's the big thing with Twitch. I feel like a lot of people think like, oh, I don't want to go do a whole account
or whatever.
thing.
No, you can just literally
go. Just go to twitch.tv/LPNTV and just pull it up on your browser. You don't need to even get an app or anything.
And then in the meantime, we're going to be doing, since we don't have, we're missing one live stream this month because of my travel schedule. I'm sorry, but we will be doing more of these episodes. So we need as many emails and voicemails and voice notes and DMs as possible. So let us know. And if you've emailed us or DM'd us, we're going to probably get to your thing. Sometimes they're too long. Try to keep them a little bit succinct.
We love slurping them up. Yes. Thank you guys so much.
And follow us on Instagram and Who's the Bitch LPN on Instagram. And yeah. Talk to you guys later.
Love ya.
Bye.
This show is made possible by listeners like you. Thanks to our ad sponsors, you can support our shows by supporting them. For more shows like the one you just listened to, go to lastpodcastnetwork.com.